Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, and I'm not registering any sound. Good morning, everyone. This is Jeffy Kennedy, author of epic fantasy romance. I'm here with my first cup of coffee. We had kind of a double start there because wasn't registering any of my volume. Every once in a while, Windows like resets my input settings. It's really frustrating. So anyway, here we are. Today is, say it with me, people. It is Friday. Woohoo! January 31st, end of January. A lot of people feel like it's been a long month here in the US. That's, yeah, 1 month of many yet to come, right? So, we're just not going to go there. How are you? How are you this morning? Let's see. So, what do I have to report? I am going down to Portales this weekend. I'm going to go visit my friend, the lovely and delightful Dorinda Jones. Looking forward to doing that. And yeah, it's been a busy week. Um, choo- 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 choo. Where am I at on Strange Familiar? I passed midpoint. I sound a little resigned-ish, don't I? I'm at almost 44,000 words, so I am still on track, but I think I'm going to have to push out the release date. Um, I At my current rate, I'm still doing really well, improving my word count. I'm going to have it's already the best word count month that I've had since January. We're going to play this game again, but I will pause you. Okay, so it's definitely the best month since October of 23. It's going to be my fourth highest month since January of 2022. So I've done really well. I'm trying to give myself credit for the fact that I have really increased my word count and productivity. However, if I look at my current average that I've been doing so far, I am not going to finish this draft until like the 4th of March. And since I'm supposed to release it on the 2nd of March, that's a problem. But I'm just going to wait and see. See if I continue at my current rate. See if I can maybe do a last minute push. We'll find out. Monday, I have my meeting, my editorial meeting on book 2 for Tor. So I'm trying to not freak about that. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, I was trying to explain to a non-writer friend about this. And she's someone who is dealing with a very recent cancer diagnosis. It's very, very mild. It's not looking like a terrible thing. Caught it very early, that sort of thing. But it's angsty. But we were just talking about um, like getting together and plans and that sort of thing. And I was saying how on Monday I have this editorial meeting and how freaked out I am about it, and trying to explain why. Why am I so worried? And it when we're having this same conversation, having this in context of the same conversation of like what tests she's going to have to do and decisions she's going to have to make and the things that she's worried about, you know, in this grand scheme, yes, it doesn't matter. Um, and we kind of come back around to that, right? Like if we compare our problems to other people's problems, You know what I mean? But there's still problems. There's still things that concern us, still things that we are thinking about. And yeah, why am I so concerned? I think some of it is just the standard creative angst. Um, like maybe it's partly comparisons. Like this first book was so incredibly special. Never the Roses is so special, and like so yesterday morning we had the big marketing and publicity meeting, which was great. There were like 10 people on the Zoom call, and all to do with me. A celebration throughout Oz, uh, which is wonderful and gratifying, and I've never gotten to do that before. So yes, it is exactly as fun as you would think it would be. My fellow authors out there, it was great. Even the Monique Patterson, head of Bramble Imprint, was on the call. Even though she was marked as an optional attend, she was there, which I just thought was great. And it's funny to talk to Monique because they all went through and introduced themselves to me on the call. And they, delightful people, that like, this is what I am doing for your book. And they were all saying such nice things about the book, which is wonderful. Like how it made them cry, and, saying really great things about things that they're doing to, I mean, some of it you could tell was a little bit of them like reporting to the rest of the team too, like they'd had to prepare for this call, and they're like, okay, so I've done this and this and this, and I'm prepared this. And so, because of course Monique, head of the imprints, on the call, so they have to, you know it was delightful. I don't know if I can express it more than that, but like they were, just talking about their jobs and what they're doing for the book and so forth, partly for me and partly for the rest of the team, and reporting to their boss. But Monique was acknowledging how we have been in this business together for a long time. Monique Patterson has been in a couple different houses. She was over at St. Martin's, and we have probably known each other in the romance circles for a couple of decades, and which is just kind of crazy at this point in time. And she was acknowledging that. Uh, yeah, just funny when you've been in this business for a long time. And I think I always talk about how I'm in this for the long game. And I look back to, those, that first, you know, first RWA meeting I went to in like 2007. And it's like, yeah, coming up on 20 years. One of the other gals who tends to be more in charge of like the events for Bramble and for Tor, maybe Olive McMillan, Carol Perney, uh, we were talking about, everybody had like, some people had really pretty bookshelves behind them, like really nicely done bookshelves. And I'm like, oh, I've got my kind of trashy TBR pile behind me, and not not nearly so nice. And Carol was like, yeah, but what is that? Because you don't have room for your bookshelves because you've got trophies behind you. So if you're not on video, yeah, I've got my Rita award behind me. So I was showing them my Rita, and we had a little moment of Agent Sarah said, rest in peace, RWA. And that was like, yeah, that's sad, isn't it? Rest in peace, RWA. I'm glad that I was able to get my Rita when I could, and I'm really sorry that that's not available still to people. Ugh, ugh. All right, we won't talk more about RWA. Anyway, so it was great. It was great having this call, but it's sort of like every time someone talks about how much they love Never the Roses, I worry about book 2. And I know it's not reasonable. So I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Like I think I mentioned it on here before, but Agent Sarah, when I said, you know, that I'm worried that they'll hate this second book, because it's different, and I tried some things, and Sarah said, well, I'm sure you'll work together to make it better, which I know is true. But I told her, I said, you're supposed to tell me it's going to be fine. Uh, anyway, we'll see. So that's my big thing. Marketing and publicity meeting was great. They have wonderful plans. I'm super excited. They said that they are going to give me, oh, I should report back on this one thing. I am going to go to a Polycon 2026. We talked about that. And they also said that they're going to curate event proposals for me to decide which things I want to go to. So, yeah, that's kind of cool, isn't it? Like curated list, event proposals. So we shall see. I will keep you all updated. My blended mix. Guess that's a little redundant. You could edit it. Of readers and authors who listen. Um, Interestingly, Agent Sarah tagged me as I was driving into town the other day, um, kind of out of the blue, and she said, so we're getting a lot of requests for feminist horror from, I know the transcript's going to hate the way I said that, from editors, that they're really looking for feminist horror revenge fantasies. Gosh, I wonder why. It's looking at that 19th Amendment getting revoked and losing all of our rights as women in the U.S. here. But other than that, everything's fine. So yeah, I don't know, longtime listeners may remember that I had a book several years ago called Among the Daughters, which is feminist horror revenge. And Sarah said, I still think about that book. She said, I still want to get to the end because I only wrote like 100 pages of it. It died on submission. We couldn't figure out why. It was like it got a very weird meh response. Like none of the feedback was even clear. They were just like, oh well, it's not what I was hoping it would be. I was like, well, what did you want? It like hit all of the boxes of what you said you were looking for. So anyway, sometimes it just does that. I mean, it's just, you don't know why. So she asked if she could take that out on submission again. And of course, my first thought was, I said, I don't want to have to. I'd said this very definitively, and longtime listeners will remember me saying, I am never going to write a full book again that isn't one that I really, really want to write. And that book was the reason, because it was like, I like that book. I do want to finish writing that book, but I don't want to write it for free. And it would be difficult for me to take it out on indie publishing. In fact, I was talking to my same friend who has the recent cancer diagnosis, uh, and I was explaining this. I was on my way to meet her, and I was saying how Sarah had said that they were getting requests for feminist horror, and she said, she's like, you mean you've written some feminist horror? And I said, as a matter of fact, I have. And she said, so would this be a new pen name? And I was like, oh God, I hope not. But we also went out on submission with Sex, Lies, and Ley Lines, which is a little bit different. And I don't know if that would be a Jeffe Kennedy. So I don't know. We'll just take things as they come, right? So exciting things are happening, though. Wouldn't it be cool if both of those sold? So anyway, all of this wraps back around to on Monday, I'll have that editorial meeting. I'll have a better feel for what kind of timeline they want on that revision. I really, really do not want to stop writing Strange Familiar unless they really that revision back soon. And I mean, we'll see. I think it's going to take me a little bit of revising. We will see if they hate it. We'll see what they want from it. There are some things I have in my mind that I think I probably need to do to make it a better book, to heighten some aspects of it. And I'm curious to see if that's what Allie will suggest. She did say that that's her favorite part of the job, is doing this, working together on editorial feedback. So, yeah, I guess I am interested to hear what they say. I just am worried that they won't love it. Boo. uh, Nothing ever is enough, right? Uh, so, so yeah, those are all of the things. I've got my annual check-in with Agent Sarah next week. Also, many meetings lately. I guess that's sort of the beginning of the year thing. Um, so yeah, we'll just see what comes out of that editorial meeting, and maybe I can figure out a way to just like really cram on Strange Familiar and get it done. Or I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Always in motion is the future. Uh, yeah. So let's see what else. Casita building is continuing apace. The people are out there working. They're about to pour the slab, so that'll be a big thing to get done. And I suppose it would be interesting to see if I could really cram on finishing a book. I did it before, and I burned myself out. But I did, like The Edge of the Blade, I wrote doing like 5,000 words a day. Uh, so I don't know if I really kick in, if I really apply that pressure. I'm going to think about it. As I drive to Portales this weekend, I am going to listen to the audiobook of Reluctant Wizard. Oh, which, by the way, is coming out of exclusive on Audible. I'm putting that up everywhere, so that'll be available all over the place. So that'll be happy making for many of you. And yeah, so I'm going to listen to that and hopefully pick everything up. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with how it's going. I'm feeling like I'm doing a lot of summary, but maybe it's okay. I'll see how it reads when I come back over it. And yeah, tip in sheets. I've done like 4.5 inches worth. Did I tell you all? Oh, I finally did remeasure uh, by height instead of number of pages. And so I've got like 64 inches. It's my height in tip in sheets. And I've made it through 4.5 inches so far. But I have until mid-March on that. However, because they were messed up, did I tell you all that? Like, yeah, I did. That some of them got messed up. The boxes weren't very good. They're going to send me new boxes to ship them back in. But they're sending me 3,000 more to cover the spoilage. It's like 3,000 more is a lot more. But I need to get better about it. I was thinking I should like be signing them as I'm doing stuff like this, like the podcast. Anytime I'm in a meeting or something like that, I need to just sit there and sign these things. So yeah, that's me. That's all the things I have to do. I hope you all have a great weekend. If I know a couple of you listen from Portales, love to say hi. And yeah, I will talk to you all on Monday. You all take care. Bye-bye.